Okay, we're already starting. I think we have about 66 people in attendance coming in.
Okay, so I will just wait till we've got. Will you just give me the signal when?
Yeah, sounds
we're ready to start. Okay, thanks.
Okay, I think we can start, Carlene. The number is stabilizing, yeah.
Okay. Great. Hi, everyone. A big welcome to everyone. Thanks for joining today. I'm sorry, we've got a bit of a technical issue, so I might be all blue and blotchy on the screen, but bear with me. My name is Carlene Yekas. I've been with Richworth for about 9 years now, working across many airlines throughout the world and on many aviation positions. And my colleague, Melinda Ferreira, who joins me, is from South Africa. She's here. Do you want to just say hi, Melinda?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. And I trust you're going to have a good next few hour with us, hopefully not a few hours. Please, you are welcome to take any screenshots. You are welcome to take notes, but please keep your questions till right at the end.
Great, thanks, Melinda. Just for your reference, we are recording this session just for future reference, which we will put up on our website also if you want to come back to this presentation. So let's get started. So the agenda will go through about Richworth Aviation, about REX Airlines itself, the REX job opportunities, job requirements and benefits, the recruitment process, visa application, the CASA exam and training. And we've got a couple of testimonials from a couple of pilots who have already joined REX Airlines. And then at the end, we will have a Q&A session where you can put your questions in the comments and we will answer those for you at the end of the session. So about Richworth Aviation, Richworth Aviation are a leading global provider of staffing, recruitment and consulting services to the aviation industry with 40 years of experience. Richworth have worked across various roles in the flight operations, engineering and maintenance and management and executive. We've partnered with over 100 airlines and aviation companies worldwide to recruit and resource their operations and provides personalised support and assistance to pilots. We are also part of the Empresaria Group, which is a global specialist staffing group and a member of the London Stock Exchange. Richworth is a global recruitment operations with offices in Sweden, Singapore, New Zealand, which is where I'm based, and maintains local representatives across Asia, the USA, and Africa. About REX Airlines. So REX Airlines was founded in 2002. Their purpose is established from the belief that regional communities, the bush, deserve quality air service and strong connectivity between regional centres and capital cities at affordable prices. Their vision to balance regional community needs for accessible air travel with the goal of being economically viable and sustainable. Expansion, this same vision now extends to domestic routes offering safe, reliable and affordable air services to a broader market across Australia. The fleet operates one of the world's largest fleet of twin-engine turboprop Saab 340 aircrafts, and they currently have 57 Saab 340s at the moment. They have 11 operating bases across Australia. As you've probably read in the news, over the last year or so, they were placed under voluntary administration but we're pleased to announce that they expect to exit the administration by December 2025, and they also have a potential new buyer from the US who has shown interest in REX Airlines, and they are just currently working through that at the moment. So REX Airline operates the Saab 340, and they have direct entry captain's position available. It's a permanent employment, direct hire position, and the bases are Perth and Cairns, and also Brisbane and Sydney are possibly available. It would just depend at the time if it is available. So it is a possibility in the future. So the requirements for the captain position are 2,500 plus total flight time, 500 PIC hours experience on a turboprop over 10,000 kgs, and you would need to be type rated on a turboprop over 10,000 kgs. You need to have an ICAO ATPL, previous command experience in Part 121 type operation, a current medical, and an ELP level 4. And the age requirement is 50 years old and below, and this is just being due to be able to apply for the PR because they are looking for long-term pilots to join REX Airlines. The benefits, so annual base salary is Australian 107k gross, and this does increase each year. The annual salary increase plus 12% superannuation, workers' compensation, make-up pay, daily travel allowances and meal allowances. The roster is a minimum of 8 days off per 28 days up to a maximum of 10 days, and there's about 60 to 70 hours you will fly, but you can increase this and earn more on top of that if you decide to do overtime, and there is the opportunity to pick up extra hours. The annual leave is 6 weeks. Accommodation is provided during initial ground schools training and also on layovers. The ground transportation may be provided on operating days to and from accommodation. Out-of-pocket payment and accommodation airfare reimbursement up to Australian $17.50 per person. That includes children as well. Insurance is covered with loss of license and accident insurance.
One back.
Okay, oh, sorry.
Yeah, just skip one back. Thank you, Colleen. Now, before we dive into the recruitment process, I'm going to take a quick moment to talk to you about where you'll be living and training. Colleen and I have been working with REX on this recruitment for just over 3 years. So we've had some good feedback from our candidates there. And they're all in unison that Australia is not just a great place to work, but it's also a fantastic place to live. As a highly developed country with a strong economy, it offers a high standard of living, low crime rates, and well-structured government systems. And then obviously there's the natural beauty. Australia is world famous for its landscapes, from rainforests and deserts to mountains and beaches. Australia truly has it all. And if you love sunshine, you will love it over there. Australia enjoys over 3,000 hours of sunshine every year. It's also a fantastic place to raise a family, which I know is an important factor for most of you. It offers safe communities and excellent schools. Then if you're a foodie, especially a seafood lover, you will be spoiled for choice. And now, before we all get too hungry, let's walk through the recruitment process so you know exactly what to expect after today's webinar. After the webinar today, you will receive an email from us, including a job brief, an application form, and a list of the documents we require. Please make sure you also check your junk and spam folder just in case it ends up there. Once you've completed your application form, you can return that with your CV to us. We'll review the documents and then we'll forward your application to REX for approval. They will invite you to a Teams interview. The interview is normally just around an hour long. And if you're successful in the interview, they will invite you to a simulator assessment. The assessments are conducted in a few locations across the globe. If it's possible for you to travel to Australia, that is an option, but then they also offer Singapore and Europe for the assessments. At the moment, we are utilizing a center in Austria. And then for our candidates in North and South America, you will also have the option to travel to Houston or Miami. Once you pass the simulator stage, REX will move forward and make you a formal job offer. They will also then assist you with the Australian visa application, and that will include visas for your family members as well. The visa normally takes anything between 3 to 5 months. And then once your visa has been approved, then you will receive a start date for your ground school. All right, let's take a look at the visa and then we'll move on to the training and the assessments. The visa you'll apply for is a subclass 482, and this visa falls under the labor agreement stream. As Colleen mentioned earlier, this visa will give you a pathway to permanent residency after 3 years. And if you've previously held an Australian visa, that will expedite it and it will only take around 2 years. Also, as mentioned earlier, you need to apply for your permanent residency while you're under the age of 55. Hence the reason why REX has set the cap on 50. And then your visa and your license conversion costs will be reimbursed by REX. But it's also important to know that these expenses would be out of pocket initially. And then once you start your training, they will reimburse that. The CASA exams, REX will provide you with all the study materials prior to you joining. And then once you arrive in Australia, you will receive the hard copies of the study materials to start your license conversion. You'll also have to submit your medical documents from your home country prior to joining. And then once you arrive in Australia, you will do the CASA exams in your own time, and you'll have 6 weeks to complete and pass these exams. REX will cover the exam fees, and you'll be allowed 3 attempts to write these exams. From the feedback we've received from our pilots in REX, they say that this is one of the biggest hurdles in the whole recruitment process, but also that it's manageable for anyone with an ATP background. So not to worry about that. The ground school, this will take place at REX's training facility in Sydney. During the time of your training, they will provide you with hotel accommodation and a meal allowance. Ground school extends over 9 weeks. And then after that, you'll do 10 weeks of line training. During this time, you will be paid a salary fortnightly, and this will be paid in arrears. The training structure is quite traditional with classroom sessions, and then after each module, you'll complete a short multiple choice exam. After ground school, you'll complete 12 simulator sessions, and that will include your ATPL flight test, the Saab conversion, and failure management scenarios, diversions, engine failures, and emergencies. REX's training is very well structured, and I can assure you'll be well supported throughout your training. And then lastly, you will move on to your flight training or to your line training. And At REX, there's a strong focus on icing management. Apparently, the Saab 340 is sensitive to icing. And then you'll also notice that the phrases that the ATC in Australia uses, it's got a very specific Australian twang, and it might sound a little bit different, but I have no doubt that you'll pick that up really quickly. REX maintains a very high training and safety standard, and you'll find it's a fantastic airline to work for. They are both very professional and supportive. And then lastly, just on flying the Saab 340, this is a non-type rated role, and I know many of you might have never flown this aircraft. It is an older aircraft, and like any classic, it comes with a few quirks, but it is a great aircraft to fly, and the pilots really enjoyed. We've received really good feedback from them. We've included 2 testimonials from two of our pilots who've been with REX for a while. Captain Jay has been there for 1.5 years already. He's based in Perth. I will give you a moment to read through that. I think it's better than you listening to my voice. Colleen, I think you can move to the next slide. And the captain over here has been with REX for a couple of months. But I think that's one of the things that makes it for Colleen and myself so nice to recruit for REX, is that once our pilots join, they provide us with really honest but really positive feedback as well. Like I mentioned earlier, REX is a great company to work for. And even though they operate an older aircraft fleet, management and the way they operate will more than make up for this. Right, you can move on to the last one.
Mm-hmm.
That brings us then to the end of our presentation. We've covered a lot today, and I know this is a lot of information to take in, but I'm sure you are here for the questions. So this is your opportunity to ask anything we've discussed today, or maybe something we haven't covered in this webinar today. You'll see at the bottom of your screen, you have a chat box. So you can pop your questions in there. Colleen and I will go through them one by one, and then we'll read them out and answer them. If you prefer to ask your question, there's also, oh no, I can't see it on my screen. All right, not to worry. You can just pop your questions in there, and then we'll have a look through those. Right. The questions are coming in really, really fast. All right. We've got a question about, I'm in a flight at the moment. Is there any other scheduled timings?
We can share the
Can I share that?
we can share the session with the pilot, or they could reach out to us also if they have any questions.
Yeah. So we can send you the recording of this session. The next question, is this only captain vacancies? At the moment, yes. If you've operated a turboprop aircraft in a PIC capacity, even though that's not the role you're currently in, so you might be a first officer on a 320, but you've operated the Dash 8 as a captain previously, that is still experience that we can consider. The next question, as a regional airline, does REX have any travel benefits for crews such as my ID travel? Yes, like any other airline, international airline, they do have connections. So I won't be able to tell you exactly on which airlines, but they do offer that benefit. And this is a similar question to the previous one. Will there be openings for first officer positions? And unfortunately, not at the moment. Colleen, can you see the questions?
No, I can't.
All right,
why.
I'll read them to you then.
Okay. Right.
So the next question is the 2,500 hour requirement a hard requirement?
That would depend how close you are to it, or if you're currently flying and you could possibly reach that sort of in the next couple of months, potentially. But I'm pretty sure it's a hard 2,500 requirement. It is something we could check with the airline, but you would definitely need to be, close to that 2,500.
I just want to add to that with REX, they are quite open to us discussing candidates with them. So it might not be, your experience might not fit exactly in the box. But if it's something that we think is workable, then we definitely would try our luck. And we will present you to the airline with a motivation. The next question is, as we know, the Saab is aging. What type of aircraft do we expect in the future? Unfortunately, I won't be able to answer that question for you, but as Colleen mentioned earlier, REX is in a very exciting phase of their business. They've got new management that will come in, or new owners that will come in very soon, which will obviously bring about some changes. I don't know if this is something that they've looked at before, but yeah, I am sure this is something that will be discussed in the future. So you might want to discuss that with them during interview, but we won't be able to tell you at the moment. Right, Colleen, another one for you. Hi, good day. Will captains with jet type rating be considered without previous turboprop experience, and which countries' ATPL will be considered?
No, you wouldn't be able to just have jet experience. You definitely need to have the Part 121 turboprop, 500 hours, 10,000 kgs plus. They are considering the Bay, is it the Bay 146? Which is a jet. The smaller jet, is it Bay 146? I think it is. But if you're A320, 777, you would need to have the Part 121 experience, and they wouldn't consider just jet experience, unfortunately.
Right, and the countries which ATPL will be considered?
Can you give us an example? So they are looking at ICAO EASA, basically anyone under the ICAO,
Yeah.
which only just includes a couple. So it depends on which country you're referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the past, we've had candidates from all over the world. I don't think there was anyone that they didn't look
Yeah,
at.
it's not specific countries that they are looking for, but you would need to have an ICAO license.
Will you consider senior first officer positions with a pathway to command? Nicholas, I don't want to say yes. It will be case by case. So if you send us your resume so we can have a look at it holistically, like all the other flights that you've done, or all the other types of flying that you've done before, it might be something that they'll consider. But again, it depends on the hours that you've done in a SFO position. And then of course on which aircraft that was. So send us your CV and we can give you better feedback on that. Colleen, what is the medical cost in Australia?
The medical cost. I'm sorry,
Yes, so I think it's basically, yeah, it's basically a question about, you know, the medical cover that they'll have, and then if private, what they can expect for that cost to be.
I don't know the exact figures. I believe that medical is it free in Australia? I'm pretty sure it's free. Yeah, I'd have to come
You
back to you on that
will,
one. It might be a bit more technical than just sort of talking about it over
yes.
here. So we could send you some information on that. It's hard to
If
explain.
you're not a permanent resident yet, you will have to get private medical to cover your family. We do have a link for that. I'm just quickly scanning through to see if I can find that link for you. If you give me a moment, I will pop that in the chat, and then you can just visit that website and have a quick look there.
We can also share it post webinar, Melinda, in the email.
Okay, that's maybe a good, all right, that's a good idea. Right. About the CASA conversion, how many exams do I have to attempt? So you have 3 chances to write the CASA exam. If you fail both of those attempts, you will be taken offline for 3 months. At that point, REX will also take you off the payroll, and then after 3 months, you will have another 3 attempts. No, we are not recruiting for first officers at this point. Colleen, where is it easiest for pilot coming from Africa to go for a sim assessment?
Where is it easiest?
Oh, yeah, probably Austria, I would think.
Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, we have discussed with REX in the past using a facility in South Africa. But up until this point, that wasn't a viable option for the use for them. So I think coming from Africa, it might be best to travel to Austria.
Yeah, well, there's Singapore or Australia, but those are pretty much the 3 options at the moment that they have on offer. Potentially there may be more in the future, but that's kind of what the sim places that they can use at the moment.
Yeah. All right. Another question. Between Perth and Cairn, how are bases assigned during the hiring process?
That's something you need to discuss with REX Airlines, I guess, when you get offered the contract. Most pilots have had that discussion with them about where you want to be based, and that's something that you could decide together.
The duration of the bond, Rahul, the bond stretches over 3 years.
2 years, I think it is, Melinda, isn't it? 2 years?
Yes. Oh, 2 years, sorry.
Yeah, 2
But
years.
unless you resign, you don't have to worry about the bond. It will depreciate as well. So every 3 months the bond lowers. And then if you stay for the 2 years, then obviously you will have no bond. But the reality is, if you're in it for permanent residence, you have to stay for the duration of the contract. So I don't think you have to worry about the bond. Colleen, in the training period, what percentage of the salary would you expect to receive?
So you would get the base salary. It's not cut down for the training. It would be based on I think it's year 107.
Yes, so the full base salary.
The full base, yes.
Are there pensions available and how much?
The superannuation is, oh, sorry, Melinda.
No, continue.
Superannuation is 12%. That's for your retirement plan, which is what the company REX Airlines would contribute each month towards your super. It would be 12%, I believe, of the base salary.
Right. Okay, the next question. I do not have turboprop hours, just jet engine hours. As a PIC, can I apply? Unfortunately not. REX is very specific about this criteria, that they need you to have some experience on the turboprop. If they're not commercial, then military. But a lot of their flying includes or consists of bush flying, and it's just a skill that they require. So maybe if you have past turboprop experience, like I said, in a military setting, that might something that we can consider. Colleen, a question for you. How strict is the 50 years max age? He's currently 52.
So the problem with the age is, as we mentioned earlier, it's with the permanent residency. It is quite strict to want pilots under 50 because it can get difficult with the permanent residency once you're, over that age bracket, unfortunately.
Jürgen, if I can ask you if you can maybe afterwards just send Colleen or myself a personal message. I will put our email addresses, or our email addresses will be on the email you'll receive. And I think 52 is so borderline. Let's discuss that off air. How much is the fee for visa application? Abdul, unfortunately, I won't be able to give you that exact amount. Again, that is information we can provide you afterwards. You can also go to the Australian website or the immigration website, and you'll find it there. But I can send that to you later on. Colleen, this is a question we had. Do you get to choose a base to operate from? If you can maybe just explain how that will work.
Yes, it's something that you could discuss with REX Airlines, which bases generally they ask once you sign a contract, they will ask what is your base preference. And Perth and Cairns are available as permanent locations, and Sydney and Brisbane are potential bases. So if you were interested in those bases, it is something that you could mention to REX Airlines, but that's a discussion you would have with them.
Mhm. I am a KO HPL holder. What did you mean by Part 121 experience? So Part 121 experience means commercial experience. As I mentioned before, case by case, sometimes we have these discussions with REX for pilots that have not had commercial experience but strong military experience, or other experience that they can incorporate in the type of flying that REX does. So again, if you don't have this exact experience, still send us your CV. We can review, and REX might be flexible with that. Colleen, how much would the take-home pay after tax deduction, or how much would the take-home pay be after tax deduction?
I believe Australia has about a 30% tax bracket. It's about 30% off that base salary.
That is also, we have a website for tax calculation as well that we'll also email to you after the session.
You can also go on and just basically
Search
Google
it.
the tax brackets for Australia if you wanted to also have a look that one.
Can my family be in Australia while I'm training? Emil, they can, but REX would also encourage you in your interview to if it's possible for you to leave your family in your home country, and at least till after your training. So come over to Australia, do your CASA exams. Those are quite stressful. Then start your training. For training, you'll be put up in accommodation. And your family won't be accommodated. So once you've done your training and you move into your permanent residence, then it would be better for your family to come over, and for the simple reason that REX wouldn't want you to worry about your family during a time that will be potentially very stressful for you as well. Colleen, would the required PIC time on jet aircraft make up for not having PIC time on turboprops?
Potentially, I think it's, as Melinda said, they are quite open. So I think definitely get in touch with us, send us your CV and we can review it, because it's not a hard no. So I think it's definitely worth considering.
Hi, I'm waiting for my visa already. What happens if we fail the CASA exam 3 times? I did answer this earlier on, in case you missed it, but if you failed 3 times, then you'll have to take a 3-month break. During that time, REX will take you off the payroll, and then after 3 months, you will have the opportunity for another 3 attempts. I also just want to add a little part in here. The pilots that are currently in REX, most of them, or not most of them, we've got a good percentage of expats, and they are very supportive of each other. So every time when a new pilot joins, they really make it their mission to provide you with training material. They will support you. They will give you the questions that that they've had in their assessments. So you will have a strong support of the expat community within REX. Colleen, could I know, so this applicant says, thanks for the presentation. Could I know any restrictions for Sri Lankan license holders as well as Moldavian license holders? Also, I'm currently flying as a captain on the Twin Otter. Is this accepted?
There are no restrictions that I believe for those two licenses. As we said, they are quite open to all licenses. They do need to be under a KO. What was the other question? The Otter,
Is the Twin Otter accepted?
Twin Otter.
Is a -6.
I believe that one is quite small.
Too light.
I'm just going to Google it because I can't remember what the weight is on that one.
Yeah. The Twin Otter, I think,
small.
Yeah, is under the 10,000 kg mark. In the past, REX rejected -6. But again, if you have strong experience, if you have high hours on that aircraft, please make contact with us. We will definitely, if we can, we will push for it. Rex, yes, we'll send you an email after this with all the information you require. Gurleen asked, I don't have turboprop PIC hours. Am I eligible? Unfortunately, no. You do have to have turboprop experience, even if it's slightly under the 500-hour mark. But you do need to have turboprop experience for this role. Chanel says, may I confirm that the Australian license conversion theory and exams are for us to pay and complete prior to starting the Saab ground school, and the flight test thereof is done. That is correct, yes. You will pay for the visas and the initial license conversion, and REX will reimburse that to you. Colleen, Christopher asked, lastly, could you talk a bit about the training bond and the training agreement? Do you have the breakdown?
Sorry, the training bond.
The training bond?
The training bond, I think we already mentioned that, didn't we, about the 2 years if you leave prior to 2 years, then you would need to pay that back, which I'm just trying to find the figures. Is that what you mean? Didn't we just touch on that before?
Yes, Christopher, we have a full document on that with the breakdown, just so you can see that. I'm adding that onto the notes, so we will send that to you afterwards, so you can have a look at that. But like I said, you won't really have to worry about that if you stay for the contract up until the point where you can get permanent residency. Then you won't be expected to pay anything. The bond is just in place in case you leave earlier, and as mentioned before, it will depreciate. So after a year, it will only be half the bond. So yeah, I don't think you have to worry about that too much.
The bond itself, I believe, is 28,000. It's about 28,000 Australian. Just if that's if you were wanting the actual number.
All right. Emil asked how many positions we have available. Emil, every year REX gets a quota for the visas. So for this year, we still have about 10 visas available. Next year, we'll have another 20 visas, and yeah, we expect that to continue into the future as well. Sanjeev asked, Colleen, I'm flying the Dorniers, which is 6.4 tons. I have a total of 4,500 hours, whereby PIC hours is about 2,000.
Yeah, I think
So,
uh,
yeah.
I think just send us your CV. As we've said,
Mm.
we don't want to rule anyone out because REX can be quite flexible, just depending. Obviously, we need to see your full background of your flying history to sort of assess, you know, whether you'd be applicable or not. But I think definitely get in touch with us. Send us your CV and
Yes.
we can review it. Yeah.
Yes, you can send us a digital logbook. That is perfectly acceptable. The operating, all right, the usual operating time of the REX, from I don't know if this might change into the future, but at the moment they don't have any red eyes. Nothing, no operating flights at the back of the clock. So all flights will operate during daytime or then early in the evening, returning back to Australia. If they do stop over, it will be a night stop, and then you'll return to Australia the next day. All right, where do you submit your application? You can send your application to us at Rishworth. We will process all applications and then we present them to REX.
Also at the end, we'll put up an email address that you can also contact. So once we finish the presentation, we'll put the email address up for you.
Yes. Emil, unfortunately, I won't be able to give you the total cost and converting your license, but I would be able to put you in contact with some of the pilots that have recently done that. So again, if you just send us an email, then we will be able to facilitate that question. Taha, unfortunately, a CPL with a frozen ATPL is not accepted. It will need to be a full ATPL with PIC experience. And then Colleen, do we accept the Beechcraft 190 or the 1900?
I believe so.
I think we've done that in the past, yes.
Yeah, yes, I think that
So
should be.
yes,
Yes.
that would be acceptable. Graham, yes, the permanent residence on the website it would say 45, but this particular visa that that REX will issue you, let me just quickly see, but that is under employment stream, so you will be able to apply for that up until the age of 55. Are you restricted to where you live or the base until you have your permanent residency? No, you are not restricted. Okay, I've just answered that question. No frozen ATPL. All right, Colleen. I missed the contract part. How long will it be with REX? I have experience flying sorry, I'm just trying to understand this. But if you can maybe explain the contract so long, how long it will be with REX?
So the contract pilots will be employed under the REX's Fair Work Commission Enterprise Agreement, which is 2 years renewable.
All right.
And you can actually access that one. I believe anybody can access the Fair Work Agreement online.
All right. I have experience flying the PC-12. and currently on the Airbus 320. What are my chances of getting into REX with an
What was that?
Indian ATPL?
BC12.
PC12.
Sorry, BC.
PC12. Papa
BC12.
Charlie.
I'm just having a look for you. BC12.
Right, I'll go on to the next one so long.
Yeah, sure.
And then we'll get back to that one. I'm 51 years old, holding an ATPL license. Is there a possibility to apply? Yes, please apply. We've got the age restriction at 50, but we will still present you up until the age of 52. We can still present you to REX. There are several factors in play with interview slots, simulator assessment slots. So yeah, if everything aligns and there's a possibility for them to process you in a short time, yes, we can still be flexible. Please
BC12. Oh, sorry.
All right, now you can continue.
Sorry, Melinda. BC12. It's quite a small aircraft. So I think I would have to say no. It's tiny.
Yeah. Good. All right. Hi, Dalian. So Dalian says he's from Indonesia. A KO ATPL turboprop. Yes, you're on the ATR 72. All right, Dalian, if you've already sent us your application, then no need to worry. We will review that. All right, I've made a note. I will reach out to you after this. No, there are no REX airline representatives on the call. Like I mentioned earlier on, Colleen and myself have been working with REX for 3 years. So you will meet with the REX panel on your online interview. Emil, Colleen, if you can answer this. I'm coming to Australia on the 10th of October. Could my process be sped up so I can do the sim check then?
What date, sorry?
No, did you say 10th of October? Did you mean the 10th of November, Emil?
You might be a bit
I
late.
would assume it's maybe November or December.
Right.
Let's go with November.
Potentially, they do move quite quickly. I think if you haven't got your application, I would recommend getting that in as soon as possible. REX sort of do come back to us quite quickly with regards to an interview, and then once the interview's done, we could look at possibly a sim in Australia. It would just depend, but yes, potentially.
Yes. Kuldeep says he sent his details a few months ago. Kuldeep, yes. If you reach out to us, just copy our previous communication. If you were rejected at that point, we'll have to look at what the reason was. With some points, REX can be flexible. Sometimes they're not. So if we know why they rejected you, also as time progresses and as management change their requirements, sometimes, you know, they are a little bit more flexible than previously. So if you do reach out to us, let's look into that. Ground transportation may be provided. So that depends if you opt for an allowance. So if you are in your base, you will receive an allowance. But then if you are out on a night stop, then of course they will provide your transportation for you. What's the insurance coverage and LOL in terms of amount? Again, that is not something that we are privy to. once you meet with REX for your interview, they will give you a proper breakdown, and they will also provide you with a document which we are not permitted to share with you, but they will give you all of that information before you sign a contract with them. Staff travel privileges, that is in line with other airline operations. Again, I won't be able to give you the breakdown of that in this format, but I can make sure that you get that afterwards. And then if I have notice period with my current employer, will REX wait for 6 months?
Is that for me?
Kuldeep, yes.
Potentially.
Sorry, that's still, yeah.
Potentially, yes. I mean, there are pilots that have 6-month notice periods. So yes, I would suggest submitting your application. That shouldn't be a problem.
Yes. And the visa will take a good 3 to 5 months anyway, so that will coincide nicely. Is there, Colleen, is there any insurance except the loss of license?
No, I don't believe there is. Loss of license and accident insurance.
Accident insurance.
And we wouldn't be able to give you exact details on that because we don't actually know the full details of that. We would have to get that from the airline.
The contract period, I believe we answered that question before.
2 years. Yes.
2-year contract. And what is the bond term? Emil, that is information we'll share on an email to everybody after this meeting. Rahul, Colleen asked, out of pocket, $1,750 is reimbursed as a ticket to your home country annually.
Sorry?
Sorry, I'm struggling to understand this.
I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
A ticket to your out of pocket reimbursed. Rahul, I'm struggling to understand your question. I'm gathering that you ask if you pay the ticket to your home country, if that will be reimbursed. I'm not 100% clear if that is covered in the contract. But that will be included in your employee benefits contract. All right. Okay. Let's put that on ice. I will get back to your question in a moment. Let me just scan through the labor agreement.
Melinda, we're running out of time now, so maybe we can just wrap up. And for people who are still asking questions, what we'll do is we'll send an email marketing out. I mean, a post-webinar email out with all the information from this webinar. And if you have any questions, feel free to respond to that email. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, we'll wrap this up then. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and thank you for your questions and your participation. We really appreciate that. I hope this webinar gave you a clear overview of the recruitment process. As we mentioned a few times today, but after the session, you'll receive an email from us. Please make sure to check your junk and spam folders. And then once you've completed the form and attached your CV, you can send that back to us, and then we will guide you through the next step of the process. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, everyone. We look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks very much.
Take care. Bye-bye.